Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Let's Play some STARDEUS. STARDEUS is a spaceship building game, but it feels very similar to the colony building games that we are used to play. It's something like your Dwarf Fortress, your Prison Architect, your RimWorld, but in space. What I love about this is an example of one of those early access games that I think does it right. The game feels great to play right now. It seems to have lots of content already, and yet it's clear that the creator behind STARDEUS has massive ambitions for this title because they're only calling the current version 0.11, which is a huge update, by the way. This video is sponsored by Paradox Arc, the indie publishing wing of Paradox. Thank you very much for them for doing that. Do be sure to check out the description box down below for information about STARDEUS, about this new 0.11 Bioverse update patch that just transforms everything. It's a full, complete AI rewrite. Big UI changes that I'm keen on. There's also Twitch integration, so we're clearly going to have to try this on stream at some point. A new body part system that'll feel very reminiscent to some other games that we play. It is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, only one video for this is being sponsored. However, I kind of want to stretch it into maybe an extended Let's Play kind of thing. So we're going to see exactly how this goes. Without further ado, let's start a new game. We are going to, again, part of the reason for this video is to highlight this new update, but I think a lot of people haven't played this, so I'm going to assume that you haven't seen STARDEUS before as we go through this. The main big scenario is this wrecked start, and it'll be explained what it is once we kick into the game over here. So we're just going to start. We need a ship name. We could randomly generate it, but I think we're going to call this the Flying Sprout. And we can choose a seed over here, which is mostly going to randomize the galaxy as far as I know, as well as what our ship looks like, except for reasons, our ship's not actually really going to look like this once we get into the game. That'll be obvious in a second. We can also randomize our initial crew, which is going to be one robot, one drone, two carrier drones, a couple of humans, and a pig, apparently. I think it could also be a dog or a cat. We should start with a cat. Maybe not as much meat on there, but there we go. Spooky the cat is where we're gonna go. Skill-wise, okay, we got goods construction, which I think is probably fairly important. And then all of these characters, they do have like a variety of different traits and things going on, but yeah, all right, let's do a clown, a creepy clown. Oh, that seems like it's going to be great fun. We're going to go with the balanced story generator, the balanced difficulty, and we will go with a save load anytime mode rather than permadeath. There's also the option of choosing a bunch of different modifiers to change the way the game works, disabling certain events and things like that if you want. Massive amounts of customization. It's actually super impressive. Embark. Earth has perished. Oh, dang. Survivors are roaming the universe in search of a new home. You are hibernating in Flying Sprout, an ARC vessel equipped with advanced AI that will wake the colonists after a base has been established on a habitable planet. Uploading neural network to host, disabling I/O to reduce the initial shock, enabling visual input in 3, 2, 1. Greetings, colonists. I am Ship OS, an artificial intelligence that controls the ship. There was a catastrophic failure that triggered an upload of human consciousness. Actually, I'm shocked at how much of a ship we've got. This is crazy. You were selected as the most compatible surviving subject. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. This is the ship computer that hosts your neural network. Try to preserve this device at all costs unless it violates Asimov's first law. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Looks like someone managed to survive. We should keep an eye on these colonists. Oh, wow. This layout is crazy. So different from every other one I've gotten before. We'll talk about it more in a second. Fixing and relocating some facilities over to this area could keep them alive longer. There's 720 more survivors hibernating in stasis array, but life support systems will become unstable unless we reestablish the power. Malfunctioning pods will trigger premature wake-up events. To minimize casualties, we must rebuild the ecosystem in this area. If we build bridge controls and thrusters, we can travel to nearby planets and use the shuttle for mining expeditions. It would allow us to establish a resource processing pipeline and produce essential materials for rebuilding our ship. There seems to be more wreckage nearby. We should be able to approach it once we have restored some space travel capabilities. This crash course is now complete. Thank you for your patience. For further learning, I highly recommend exploring the operations manual in the Codex overlay. I will occasionally provide suggestions when certain actions are advisable. Keep an eye on the events list. Granting full permission. Good luck. And we get a quest. So if we go and pause for a second and then zoom out, here's what I'm remarking about. Your ship is busted. Something has gone terribly, terribly wrong, and we have lost most of the ship. Normally, it feels like our ship is much more broken up than this is. The other thing to note is a lot of times, so here is the computer core, here is the stasis ray, and here's an area where some humans are still alive. 2 human colonists are still alive in this area. In many of the starts, these things will be split up widely throughout the ship. This actually represents probably a very easy start, which is nice to see, because we can just basically focus on getting this area functional, and we can probably just rip apart everything outside of this radius for raw materials, and that's going to be a really wonderful thing. And maybe it's the ideal thing for this video, because theoretically it might get us going a little bit faster. So there's a lot of stuff on screen over here, but I actually, and you know, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm very picky and fussy about user interface stuff. This feels really good. One of the things, we did cover this a year, maybe 2 years ago, and one of the things I didn't enjoy then was the radial menu for building, but that has been replaced with what they call this grid layout now, which is much handier on PC. Now on console, we still have the radial menu system, which makes perfect sense on a console, but I'm really happy about this. There's also an option to toggle between the two. If you do like the radial menu some more, you can absolutely do that. So that's a big thing. What are the other things in this patch? Oh yeah, they talked about the body part system. If we take a look at Jasmine over here, so there you go. Ears, jaws, different levels of intestines, kidneys, all these things are things that can be damaged or presumably harvested from people. Yeah, we've seen this before in some of our favorite games. Love to see that again over here. So our task here is going to be to get our ship basically functional again. The game does give you some quests that provide some nice little kind of breadcrumbs for setting yourself up to start off with. So using these quests as a guide is going to be a great idea. The other thing we'll be looking at is the top right corner over here for some various notifications. Right now, we don't have the resources for research. Fair enough. There's some objects in unsafe areas, and some places that have no oxygen are too cold. So for example, over here, we've got a spacesuit, but our people aren't going to be able to go and pick that up because that whole area is exposed to the vacuum of space. We do have one area that is sealed in over here. Actually, if we filter for oxygen, we can see there is oxygen that is present in this area. Now, you always will have, at least with the starting scenario, we'll have one area of your ship that is sealed up where your people are. I'm just not used to it being quite this big. Now, it might cause a little bit of an issue because one of the things, these doors, wherever they might be, some of these are windows, some of these are doors. So actually, this door over here is currently wide open, so oxygen is leaking out. Now, that's because it is unpowered. When you have a smaller area for your initial crew, that's not the end of the world, because the initial crew area does have a tiny little bit of power generation from this matter reactor, and it has an oxygen pump and a heater. So they're usually okay. But I'm worried with the size of the space, we might not actually be able to produce enough to keep it pressurized to the level of keeping these guys going with these doors here. So I think we do have a unique challenge on this start, which is fun. Sure, let's go with fun. I think, okay, so we've got this quest, provide the charging station. Basically, our robots, which are going to be doing a lot of the work early on, are going to need to recharge to keep themselves going. So getting that up and running does seem like a priority, which makes a lot of sense. But I propose that one of the priorities we're going to have on this particular run that we wouldn't normally have to worry about right away is shrinking the size of this area. To make it a little bit better to keep it oxygenated. I mean, we can also do it in part by just getting power to these doors and sealing it open, but I think we're still going to want that, especially since these are not airlock doors, so every time they open, they're going to be leaking oxygen as well. So if we have sort of a second layer of wall, like here and here, we can keep the oxygen and the temperature much more stable for our people in this area, and I think that's going to be a good idea. So we're immediately going to go into build mode, and here's one of the things. In the structure, by the way, we will get substantially more different types of walls, different doors, different floors as we go forward. This is just our starting set over here. One thing that might be convenient is not to have to go through this menu to find these all the time. Well, one of the things that's awesome is we have a toolbar down here, and you might think, well, that's just what the toolbar is. No. This is completely customizable. We can click and drag and reorder these things. We can control click to remove it, or I can control click on the copy configuration and put it back. The other thing I can do is I can say, all right, tell you what, I'm going to control click on this door, this cool tiled floor, and this wall, and I'm just going to add them to my toolbar. Huh. I tell you, whoever is responsible for the development of this game, they and I are very simpatico when it comes to what we love to see in our user interface. These sorts of games, there's a lot of stuff going on in them, so it's very tricky to get a UI that conveys information to you well and also allows you to do things with a minimal amount of clicks, which is hard because as you get more and more options, you can't just have all the buttons on the screen all the time, but hiding things between deep menuing layers can be a problem. So I think this is just like such a beautiful and wonderful solution. So my idea, I think, is going to be we're going to go and build a wall here and a wall here. And then I'll put a door sort of in there, and I guess we'll have a door here. There you go. So that'll be that. These are still not airlock doors, so when they open and close, we'll still vent stuff. But then there's going to be the secondary layer. And in any case, this heater and oxygen generator should hopefully be able to refill the air over here perfectly fine. So we do have a lot of like warning messages all over the place, but we'll deal with those relatively soon. So let's start. While some bots will start working on this a little bit, let's look at the first quest that we got here, right? To provide a charging station. We need a matter reactor to generate power. We need a charge station so our bots can recharge themselves. And we need a connector. So the connectors, all the power connections in this game have to go through connectors, basically. And at the start of the game, we only have a single one. It is called the connector 820. That first number is how many connections how many outlets, how many things can plug into this connector. And the second number is its radius. This connector over here is a long range connector with very few connections. 8 connections will get filled up relatively quickly. We will be able to unlock connectors with substantially more connections later on. And it is worth noting in our area where our people start, a little survival cell over here, we do have a 32-8 connector. So it only has a radius of 8 tiles, you can see here. So it doesn't go very far, but it can support up to 32 things connected to it. Now, currently we can't interact with it. This no signal connection is because it's not connected to our computer core. So no matter what, we're gonna have to build a connector of some kind and get it up on our connector or our main core here. I'm gonna put it, say, in this corner. We can get a preview of everything that can be reached with this, but of course this can still only deal with the 8 connections at a time. So I'll put it there. With its range of 20, it can reach a very long range. So the actual positioning doesn't matter too much in this situation, but we'll do that. And yeah, we want that to get built quite quickly. And then we are gonna need a charging station. You know what? I'm gonna put down the matter reactor right now. So this is gonna be something that produces power. Technically, we already have one over there, but we're gonna want a second one regardless. Look at it, they have to like manually go and jam open the doors, which is very slow, and then they stay open afterwards. So, and then yeah, we'll be planning a charging station. You know what? I might tuck it in right into this corner over here. That feels okay. So we want those to be built first. Let me go ahead and increase the priority on these 3 things, more than the walls. Go ahead and get this going on. And then once that finishes, then we'll finish the first bit of the quest. And then also we'll be able to connect our computer core to what already exists over here, which is gonna be grand. Now let's take a look at what else is going on in our base. I talked about probably trimming back on a lot of the things over here, just because then we can convert these walls and things to a lot of raw material. As far as I know, based on my own testing and based on some threads I found online, I'm pretty sure you get 100% of the material back when you deconstruct things. And so this is the equivalent of being able to move and reorganize certain things. So we will be looking to do that. However, for certain things like this teleport over here, we're not going to want to deconstruct it. And the reason is, even though in theory, as far as I know, we get all the material back, we don't actually have the research to build a new teleporter yet. Same thing with these thrusters over here. So we are going to want to make sure that they don't get deconstructed. Luckily, the game, as beautiful as it is with its UI, we go and deconstruct over here. Yep, it'll just flag that. Cancel it. If I go and deconstruct over here, it'll be like, hold on, are you sure you want to do that? There is some objects over here. You can do it, but is that what you wanted? Oh, I mean, not that I would ever accidentally box select the wrong thing. But, you know, for other people, who aren't quite as savvy as I am and might occasionally click things incorrectly, boy, that is a nice feature. I'm going to go and grab these thrusters over here because, again, we'll probably deconstruct this and I want to keep those bits. Solar panels are a big deal if we can find them as well. Anything else over... Wow, we've got a lot of thrusters. I think we will probably deconstruct some of them because I don't think we're going to need this much thrust. I'm just putting them all in the same place right now, so I sort of vaguely have an idea. I don't think I've spotted any solar panels, which is a little bit disappointing. Now, there had to be something wrong with this otherwise great ship. Oh, there's one. Solar panels don't generate a lot of power each. I think it's 3 megawatts each. And the matter reactor, or kilowatts, the matter reactor does 20, so it generates quite a bit more power. but this requires you to burn something. So we need to set up these connections over here. So this can only do 8. We've got to send one of them to the core and connect that up. I'm going to connect up this power generator over here. We'll also connect up this battery so we get a little bit of a power buffer. And this matter reactor has to be configured. We have to tell it what to burn. So it can burn any objects we have sitting around. We're going to end up with a lot of steel plates. We have a decent amount. And if we take a look at the energy output per unit, it's pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. I mean, I don't know how you burn it. I mean, it's just converting it in some sort of, I don't know, probably some sort of like nuclear thing, some sort of fusion or fission, or maybe it's going to be like quantum fission. You just see. But whatever it is, we can burn whatever we want. So we'll select these steel plates and do that. And we do, I believe, have one reactor efficiency upgrades sitting somewhere in our ship. So we're going to ask for that to get installed over here, which is going to be lovely. We're going to wire up the charger. So we completed that quest, which gives us some dataoid, which we use for research. Speaking of research, next quest. Hey, start researching. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this over here so that our little living quarters are wired up. And actually, and while we'll deconnect these later, I'm going to just wire these 2 doors here so that they close, and there we go. We start to get a little bit of segregation for our oxygen and temperature and making sure that everything stays in the right place. We do have a vent over here, which is currently not powered, but that's okay because it is currently closed. So this area should no longer be venting things. And if we click on this overlay here for air tightness, we see a solid green border all around this room. When people walk through these doors, they will turn red because they're open. They'll be open for a few moments and we'll vent some stuff, but it's not the end of the world. And again, what we'll try to do is power this and this over here so that these doors stay closed and we get a little bit of a buffer. But we can go and work towards the next step of our goal here, which is establish research. Now, why do we want to establish research? Well, because the game does have a pretty substantial tech tree. Huzzah! We love tech. There's going to be a lot of it. The way you research is by consuming something called datoids. This is different from how the game used to work, where you would build CPU cores that would take a certain amount of time to research. Here, they've flipped things around, so instead you do things that produce these datoid items, and then those things are consumed to do research instantaneously in that moment, which is a very satisfying way of doing it. And then the way it's tied into the quest system is the quests reward you with more datoids, so you can accelerate your research by completing these quests. I mean, you can play this thing completely sandboxy, and do whatever you want. Our story goal is to find a place to start terraforming, which is a whole mechanic. There's a button right there for terraforming. I have no idea how this works. I've never gotten that far. But you can terraform planets and theoretically build these colonies. You can go around, you can travel between different star systems, different planets. I can't show you yet because we haven't activated the bridge controls to be able to show you the star map. And that's all procedurally generated as well, which is great. I mean, so now it's like, oh, are we getting some, do you like FTL? Well, maybe you want to look into this sort of thing. This scratches the itch of so many different games put together, and it feels great to me. I absolutely adore it. Okay, so establish research. So right now, task is to build a datoid loader and a basic data harvester. So if I go over into our build menu and go into computing over here, got a datoid loader. This needs to be placed adjacent to the computer core, and that's where the datoids are going to get fed into this so that the research happens. And a basic data harvester, we can put that down. Let me go and put it also in the corner somewhere. We can always move these later on, so it's not a big deal. I will plop it right over there. This will produce basic data for us. This is basically how our research is being generated over here. Our non-specialized research to start off with. So let that go. And yeah, normally I'd be looking, because a lot of times your stasis array and your living quarters would be on little islands over here. And one of the things we'd be considering is researching the winch, which is where? Winch over here, the winch anchor and the winch hook. These allow you to drag your different ship parts together. But we're not going to have to do that. I'm going to go and pick up some furniture that we can see. So we got a little mini planter. Let me bring that into our living area so that we can consider growing some crops later on. We've got a crafting station, so same thing, we'll bring that in as well. We will have to research something to unlock recipes for this crafting station. It's the same tech that unlocks the ability to construct crafting stations. We got this mini cell. I don't know what this is. Portable power supply for robotic body parts. Crafted in compatible storage, part storage. Okay, so this is an ingredient that we're going to want later on. Okay, so let me just drag it and I don't know. We'll just put it in that room. Oh, I don't think we can. I think I need the actual specialized storage for it. Maybe it took the move. Okay, that's entirely possible. Oh, we got some tables and chairs. Obviously, eating without a table would be the equivalent of a war crime, so we're gonna have to go and move that furniture in there. Again, I could go and just deconstruct this and then rebuild it later on, but let's just save it and save ourselves a little bit of time and effort. And especially with this, I think we have the recipe to be able to build these. Well, these are wooden chairs. I know we can build the steel chairs right away. For all I know, we can't rebuild wooden ones, at least not without some extra check. The airlock tech over here is something we're definitely going to want. Now, this is part of the structure. We can't move this and use it, so that will just have to be torn apart. I'm just looking to see if I can spot any of the furniture. Oh, we've got a bed. Yeah, let's transfer this over too. Boop, 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 boop. And you know what? Down in this little privacy area, we'll put the bed down there. And, oh, teleporters. Those are going to be very interesting. I'm probably going to want one over here by the stasis pod. So let me prep for that right away. And actually, while we're at it, let me get another redundant long-range connector over here. And then I'm going to get one over here as well for later. And we're probably not going to plug in too many furnishings into these connectors directly later on. We're going to want the ones that support more connections. Because, like, all kinds of lights, there's a lot of things that will need connections as we go, but that's going to be okay. I don't think we have any planter recipes yet. No, we're going to need a tech to be able to start planting wheat, but at least it's in position for now, and that's okay. We are being told we've got some research ready, which is nice. Oh, because we got some data from a quest reward, but now that has been connected. We're going to configure this to start producing basic datoids, which producing a basic datoid is going to complete this quest. Now, I do have a little bit of datoids I could use to unlock some research, but I'm just going to wait a bit because we're going to see what the next quest is going to actually prompt us to do. Although, I'm tempted to get... Do I have the ability to pick up the improved connectors right away? No, I need 6 of these. So we either need to produce one. Well, I was going to say, or complete a quest, but to complete the quest, we need to produce one. So we're going to have 6 in a second because we have 5 from our first step. And then we'll get some better connection stuff going on. Okay, let's start tearing this area down, especially since are these actual corpses? No, these are bot corpses. Oh, no, there's also some human corpses over here. These human corpses tend to like to explode into face huggers. So we're going to see about starting to tear down these areas right now. And we'll get some raw material that soon we'll store into proper containers in our ship. And I want to collect all that before we go and depart anywhere, because I don't want to leave any of it behind when we go to space. So yeah, this is progressing on its own, which is great. I was going to say, I think one of the chairs didn't go. Is it possible that the chair can't be placed on the glass floor? Oh, there it is. No, okay. Okay, there we go. Quest completed, established research, gave us some more basic datoids and detect datoids, which are going to be for level 2. New quest, connect to the stasis array, connect to the survivor area. And we've already connected to the survivor area easy. So we just had to bring the power over there. Provide food, provide hygiene. And we can actually complete... Oh, I used up all your connections. I'll tell you what. Well, we're going to make some changes pretty quick. I'm just going to get rid of that. Oh, you can actually connect to the computer core. That's going to be fine. And then, yeah, you're going to connect over here. We got this one to connect to the status for now. Which will complete another quest for us. But I'm also going to go into Tech Tree. I'm going to unlock improved connectors. So this is going to give us a 16-12 connector. So this connector can support up to 16 connections with a range of 12. So it's sort of in between this connector, which is very long range, but very few plugs, and this connector, which is shorter range, but lots of plugs. And it's going to be a really nice little middle ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... drag here. We're going to build one of these. The drag, I could just build it as is, but doing the click and drag means that they're going to start off connected already, which saves us just a tiny extra bit of clicking later on. Now we're just going to plop down a few of these in places where we've got doors that I'm going to want to seal off. We might need a few more of these long-range connectors in here. That's what I'm going to do. Just to be ready to chain, actually. Yeah. Okay, let's let these go. Connected the status array. Now we need to pressurize the status array. And yeah, that is something we're going to work on very quickly. These are all windows here. Oh, how nice. I can't even build windows yet. Yeah, we got lots of corpses. Pressurizing the status array, or the status array, is going to be a very easy job. we're just gonna go, I guess I'll go to here. And like that. I can't build the wall where that corpse is. I think I might be able to build a door there, though. That corpse will leave the door jammed open, which is undesirable. You know what? With that in mind, let's do it like this. And I want symmetry, so I'm going to do it that way. And then we'll put a door there and there. Oops. About the first time, it just sort of cancels it. Oh, this is a damaged floor, so I can't build there, but we'll just queue up a little bit of a repair ask, and then we'll go and build the wall on top of that. So that's going to be enclosed, which is going to be great. Okay. And yeah, we can queue up some repairs here. So the Z is the hotkey for repairs. So we'll do that. We're going to decide, you know, which one of these areas we're keeping versus trashing. Oh, speaking of trashing, so we're deconstructing this area over here. One of our workers, the Excelsior over here, is a treaded bot. I'm going to go into its job queue. I'm going to remove demolition from it. I might try to turn it on later on, but what I don't want is Excelsior to crawl, say, all the way over here, deconstruct some stuff, and then find itself getting stuck. So we're going to leave the floating bots to take care of deconstructing things, because they can't get themselves stuck. It's going to be nice. I think this constructor bot, he does move pretty slowly as well, but I think he's got some pretty decent skills that are enabled. Lots of variety of skills, and might even do some things faster once they finally get there. These guys are probably going to explode into problems. Okay, I can relocate you. Let's just move you into an area that will soon become space. Thank you very much. Establish food production. Right. We do have a cooker over here. No, that's the crafting station. We do have a cookery station somewhere. What we're going to do... oh, no, maybe not. Maybe it's only the crafter. I guess I'll check. If I search for food... Nope, we don't have it. So, let's go and enter the research thing. And here we're going to search for food production. We're going to unlock food production. I'm then going to go and build a cooking station. I should move this planter and put the cooking station here. It would look kind of nice. Let me do that. There. Done, done, done. I can hook up that teleporter. And then we've got another teleporter over here, which I'm also going to hook up. And then these teleporters, I'm going to link one that way and then one this way. Each teleporter, you choose where it goes. So if you want to have two teleporters be able to go back and forth, you have to link them both ways. But now people on our bots can use this as a shortcut. That's not very far away, but it's still fairly convenient. And in particular, like some of our people might pop out of the stasis array. Actually, I think I'm going to move you to down here, because I think this might be the tile where people exit the stasis array, so it can minimize a little bit of walking. And did it keep its link? It did not. Boom and boom. There we are. So, just in case this area in the middle is not pressurized, then people can move around a little bit easier. Okay, deconstruction is happening, and yeah, so it's going to leave behind a bunch of titanium and steel plates. I think the regular flooring and walls is just steel. The reinforced ones use titanium. Possible that repairs uses some material as well. I don't know if it's just mech time or what. See, already I'm 28 minutes in. Oh my god, and there's so much more I want to do. This is why. So again, this video, hey, thank you Paradox for sponsoring this video, but I knew that it wouldn't be enough for me. I knew that I would start this and I'd be like, guys, it's cool if we make this a full Let's Play, right? So this is the end of the sponsored video. Again, thank you very much, Paradox, for sponsoring it. It is very appreciated. Do check the description box down below. There's going to be some more information, as well as some links about where you can pick up STARDEUS, and presumably information about this massive 0.11 patch that, again, has redone so much of the gameplay, and including like just core functional things like the completely redesigned AI, some bunch of UI improvements, so on and so forth, but a lot of gameplay features as well. Yeah, we're gonna keep this going if that's cool with you guys. If you are new to the channel, of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. In addition to that, leaving a comment and a like really makes a big difference on the YouTube algorithm. And I mean, if you're eager to see how exactly I'm going to fail at this game, stick around to the channel. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.